Alright, so for my presentation, I decided to do Hans Zimmer. I chose Hans Zimmer because he's actually one of my favorite musical composers, and there's a couple movies that he's composed music in that have become my favorite, mostly because of the soundtrack that he's created. And so I really like that, and he's also German, and I'm German, and so I just like to be able to find people that are famous from my home country. And he's popular because he fuses different styles together that integrate emotion of the film with traditional music and electronic vibes and orchestra components. And so I think that's really cool how he's able to do that. All right, the next one, I'm going to talk about his biography. And on the right is a picture of him, and I picked this picture because I think it kind of makes him look like brings out the genius side of him. He shows that he's thinking about music. And he was born in Frankfurt, Germany, on September 12th, 1957. He grew up mostly in London, and he used to have piano lessons, but he stopped because he liked to have that free thinking and not be grounded by formal lessons. And his father died when he was young, and so he used music to cope with the trials in his life and a way to escape from his life. And so that's why one of the reasons that music was such a big deal to him growing up, and why he decided to pursue music as his career. That, and also that he was very talented in music. All right. So here we're going to talk about how he began to become famous with his music. His first job was when he was a teenager in London, and he worked for Air Adel, and so he started making jingles for advertisements. And he also joined a band called I want to say it's called the Buggles or the Bugles in 1977. And after that, he worked as an accompaniment pianist for other main bands and singers. After that, he partnered with Stanley Myers, and he ended up working together for many years, creating soundtracks for smaller movies like Moonlighting, Insignificance, and My Beautiful Laundrette. And this was a really great foundation for him to build on later in the music career and combining music with movies and films. Okay, so his first Hollywood film was called The Rain Man in 1988, and that was extremely successful, but his career didn't pick up until he started doing the music for The Lion King. And this sold 15 million soundtracks. He got an Academy Award and a Golden Globe. From there, he started to create more Hollywood films and became much more famous in this area. His first Grammy Award was given for Crimson Tide in 1995. And in 2000, he began to start composing music for a lot of A-list movies such as The Gladiator, The Last Samurai, and Batman Begins. Okay, so his genius is really in the piano, and I guess that's a great instrument to begin with all fundamental music. But his talent is combining different sounds with what we find familiar. And so one of the things that I found that was a really good example of this was his very first band that he worked with, the Buggles, and the one that he's most famous for is Video Killed the Radio Star. So I'm going to show a small clip at the beginning of that song. And I don't think it's him playing, but it's his music, and you can tell that, let me center this. You can see the combination between the piano and the electronic themes behind this. So that intro is what I wanted to show you. And then from there he went more into different ethnic music and combine those different ethnic cultural themes with what the message that he was trying to show in the movie. And so here I am going to show you a clip of The Gladiator, and this is a little bit of that ancient culture in Greece, along with a lot of orchestra themes. And the one after that is the Black Hawk Down, because it's the same kind of idea of combining what we're familiar with, but it's at a different level. So he combines hard rock with the Somali cultural music, because that's where the film takes place. And so it shows his versatility, and I really liked that. So the first one is Gladiator. And you can hear the woman speaking in, I think it's Greece. One of the things he's really famous for is being able to set that mood and make that connection between the culture of where the movie is taking place and what's happening with the characters. And he's coming home, but he really just died, and it's just like that like very spiritual moment, and you can really sense that in this song. The next one has a very different tone to it. It's from Black Hawk Down, and it's called Bara Bara, and you can hear the different hard rock themes combined with the Somali music. So the Somali man speaking in the background or singing in the background is there to represent the country where the movie takes place, and the hard rock is supposed to represent the soldiers and their culture and what it's like for them to enter this country where they're supposed to be fighting. All right. The next one. So he began on the piano, but then he slowly combined orchestra with electronic, and then moved on to traditional music and traditional cultural music and the orchestra, and something that he gained a lot of awards for, and I think is a really good depiction of this talent that he has as the last samurai. And here he used Japanese idiophones along with the flute that's very specific to that part of the country, along with their rhythms and orchestra strings, and you can see a lot of themes from the orchestra combined with the Japanese culture, and I think this is a perfect depiction of it. So here we'll go to The Last Samurai. It's a little bit quiet. Okay, so you're able to see the Japanese man, and you can sense the countryside that he's trying to show, along with the familiar themes of the orchestra that you probably wouldn't hear if you were to actually go into that countryside and listen to their cultural music. But I think it helps as viewers of these movies that we're able to find something familiar with something that we perceive to be very exotic, like this Japanese flute. And so I think he's really genius in that way, and that's why the media likes him so much, is that he's able to take something that's really supposed to be different, but we find it so familiar by the way he combines it into themes that with orchestra instruments like the strings and things like that. And the last clip I want to end with is The Power of One. And I'm going to show a clip from the movie, but before I do, I want to give a little bit background of what's happening in the movie. So this boy is working in this prison, and they're going to put on a concert for the people that own the prison. And all the people that are in there are from different tribes, and so instead of trying to make them conform and try to make them all sing the same song, he takes something that's really like something from their culture or like a different way that they sing in their tribe, and he lets them keep that, and then he creatively combines it with other styles of singing from different tribes, and together it sounds amazing, and people are able to keep their identity but maintain this idea of like freedom and like unity by combining in creative ways. And so I think that's what Hans Zimmer does, is he has all these different styles and different techniques and combining things, and it keeps all of these different parts of the culture contained, so they're able to show their identity as like, ancient Greece or Japan and the Last Samurai, but still be able to come together in a really nice storyline for the movie. So I'm going to just show this last clip as an ending to this presentation.
Asambe baya memes, asambe baya memes, asambe baya memes, asambe baya memes, asambe baya memes. Oham oham, oham oham. Ariel, 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 Ulayan, Ariel, 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 Ulayan.
Okay, I'll stop it there. It's a great movie. It's my favorite movie actually, so if you haven't seen it, you should. And it's just a really, I think it kind of ties in all of the things that Hans Zimmer tries to depict in his music, but it's something that's actually happening in the storyline of this movie. And so it's actually the first movie that I bought a soundtrack to, and I think that's one of the reasons I like Hans Zimmer so much, and one of the reasons that I chose him to research, and it's been really interesting to learn about his life and what's influenced him in creating these genius pieces of music. So thank you for listening, and I had a great semester in this class.